Do you remember the first time you heard the word millionaire? Like maybe you were younger, you were a kid, and it was like, whoa. And then from that point on, you were probably just like, what does it take to become a millionaire? And in this video, I'm gonna be sharing some of my biggest takeaways from my first $1 million a year. And in all honesty, within the last year, we did over $2 million in revenue. And if we've never met, my name is Omar. This is the Department Podcast with my co-host, Art.mp4.
Let's go. We're back.
So I just celebrated my birthday a week and a half ago, and I turned 34. And at age 33, after launching my coaching and consulting business in our second year, really, within our second year, we did multiple seven figures, which is incredible. You know, and something I don't want this podcast or conversation to be is mindset stuff, which, by the way, mindset's very important. This is going to be very practical.
Yep.
I've categorized the biggest lessons and takeaways from my first $1 million year. So this is kind of selfish. This is kind of like a diary. And if you have any questions or anything, put it in the comments, and be sure to hit subscribe, because a lot of people watch this podcast and they don't subscribe, which is totally fine, by the way.
It's free.
Free to subscribe. Okay. The first lesson that I got from making my first million was accepting a cost to it. Accepting a cost. When I accepted the fact that it's going to cost me something to get there, it just made things flow more. I think there, in some way, shape, or form, there was a part of me that thought you could get to the million all by myself, keeping as much profit as possible, doing all the work,
spending as little as possible.
Yeah. Like it was like a trapped mindset, when like literally the reason why you're probably stuck is because you think that way. You need to not even take anything right now. You just need to accept the fact that if you want to see an outcome, you're gonna have to pay your way there. Now, I'll help you self-internalize and interpret what that means for you in the season you're in. But for me, it was like literally whatever it takes. That was kind of like my thought, whatever it takes. Because the reality is, if I made $1 million, this was literally a thought I had. If I made $1 million, but I only took home 100, that'd be a cool lesson. I would have spent 900 grand to make $100,000. Now, I'm glad that's not the case.
Yeah.
But fill in the blank. You have to see it like a trade. I wrote it down. I was like, create a trade in your mind. So my question to you, Art, is, would you trade $700,000, or I'm sorry, I'm going to reverse that.
Okay.
Would you trade $300,000 for $700,000?
Yeah.
How often would you make that trade?
As much as I could.
Okay. So then when something presents itself that's going to help you get the 700, don't hold back the 300.
Got it.
So like, I'm pointing at my mind, and I don't want this to be mindset. But it is a thought, and a very practical thought is, see your business and the growth of your business as a trade.
Yeah.
It's a trade.
Okay. I think hindsight, it's easy to see it that way and say it like that.
Which is why we're making this podcast.
Yes. But for being in it, it doesn't feel that way.
Oh, no.
It's like a risk. You know,
it feels like you're losing.
I'm going to give this 300K, but I don't know if the 700 is going to come back.
Right.
So
yeah. And I know that's like, I gave a big picture.
Yeah.
But really what it looks like is, it looks like buying the pro version of Zoom.
It's that simple.
Or it's paying for the royalty-free music, or it's buying the Go High Level or ClickFunnels account to run your websites on.
Yeah.
It's the cost of business.
Sure.
There's no such thing as a business that doesn't have a cost. Hey, department fam, question for you. Based on you listening to this podcast, you probably are either looking to grow your personal brand this year, build your audience online, and just stop chasing business and start to have business chasing you. If that's you, I want to invite you to the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a 5-day coaching experience, a live coaching experience with myself that's done all on Zoom, and you get access to a private community, and it really is unlike any other experience that I offer. By the end of the challenge, you'll have unreal clarity on what you're supposed to do online, and you'll have the insight on how you can make an extra 6 or even 7 figures. Yes, I said 7 figures in your business this year. And if any of those things sound great to you, I want you to join the next Content to Cash Challenge. Scan the QR code if you're watching on a television, or click the link in the description. Once you go through it, go ahead and upgrade to VIP because you'll get an extra hour of bonus VIP Q&A with me every single day of the challenge. And so looking forward to seeing you there. Let's get back into the combo.
Okay, so practically what were those costs that you had to fork over?
Well, I mean, I was in a studio.
Okay.
I mean, equipment. I wrote down 3 things: team, contractors, and coaching.
Okay.
So the team part was, in my mind, I was like, man, I keep hearing this, shout out to Dan Martell, like this concept that you could pay somebody to do more than you can. And if somebody could do it at like 60 or 70%, let them do it and just pay them to do it.
Yeah. Buy back your time.
Yeah. It was very testing of me, which is why I love business, by the way. I love business because it's such a self-discovery process. You realize where your limits are, where you have where you have like a thought that's keeping you stuck, so for me, the most I ever made as a W-2 employee was like $33,000 when I was in full-time ministry.
Yep.
So to pay somebody $60,000 was a crazy concept, like to work for me. So then on top of that, you're like, well, I don't need to tell myself to do a full-time amount of work. So like, how do I get this person to use up their, and even that's even bad thinking. But the whole premise is get another human being in here and let them apply themselves to take the business to wherever it can go. The reality is you realize that whatever you do, you're doing at such a small level if you're doing it all.
Right.
So yeah, that's why like Roy Vaden says diluted focus produces diluted results. Well, it is because it's split, which is why if you're working a W-2 job right now and you're side hustling something that you want to one day give you the full-time freedom to run and operate, the crazy thing is they say, I don't know who says, Dave Ramsey, let's just give him the credit. But they say like, don't quit your W-2 job until your side hustle is like doubling it. But the crazy thing is the energy, the mental, emotional, and physical energy you're giving your side hustle. My thing many times is imagine it if you had all the hours in the day and you didn't have to divide your mind into the place you work,
Yeah.
Now, understanding seasons, please understand seasons that you're in. Like you might be in a season that's giving you the resource and the environment to learn. Like one of the reasons I attribute the reason why I felt like I got to a 7-figure business quickly was because of how long I built other people's stuff. I talk about this all the time. Like I gave my 20s away. I gave my 20s away to other organizations, to building and helping build other people's empires with an owner's mentality. Like it wasn't like I'm here and then I'm leaving. No, I like actually owned it. So then when I stepped into my own thing, it was a smoother transition.
Got it.
Because I had the owner's mentality for years, for a decade. I thought like an owner. But when I talk about the cost, I'm just thinking about hired help. It's like, it's the coolest thing. Like not thinking about it, but hiring somebody and seeing what they're doing without you having to either tell them or just what's happening as a result of them being there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're somebody who actually wants to keep like all the money in your business to yourself, that's like mad greedy. Like, how cool would it be if you got family, close friends to work with you, impact people, change people's lives, do awesome stuff, eat good meals, go on fun trips, and like have a blast doing. I don't know, like when you really start to think of it, it's like when I was doing solo entrepreneurship, which was from like 2016, I was doing like contract work and it was just me. And then I brought on like, you were helping me with some edits back in the day, which was helpful, but it wasn't like real.
Yeah.
But just know if you're stuck at a couple $100,000, it's literally a hire you need to make. That's literally it. Make a hire. And some people will argue, make a hire from like the top down, like hire an executive position. Other people will say, no, like hire like an assistant, somebody who can just take away some of the tasks that don't let you focus in on your gift and genius.
And it just frees you up a little bit.
Yes. And I realize like, I'm best at coaching. I'm best at selling. I'm best at teaching. I'm best at creating.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like if I could stay there, the better, because a business is simply a reflection of your brain or a reflection of whose brains is involved. But really the CEO, that's why they say like, you're the limit, because based on what is why there's ceilings,
Right.
So,
and like hindsight, again, it's easy to say, but dude, I mean, you had a battle with it for a while, like hiring the help.
oh my goodness.
I mean, it took you a second.
It did. And even finding a person that I was like, okay to like,
that like you trusted.
I trusted. It could be around when my kids are around, alignment with values, someone who carries himself well, and somebody who knows something I don't.
Right.
So like, shout out to Mariella. She's a corrections officer now. But when she came in, she found $10,000.
Just unaccounted.
In her first month.
Yes.
Hey, Omar, I just noticed there's some like payments that haven't been caught up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's crazy. Now, here's the cheat code from a perspective standpoint when it comes to the cost of something. Is when I say like hire somebody at 50, 60 or whatever you feel like right to do. And obviously there's virtual assistants where you can build a business literally on virtual assistants, which you could build it whatever way you want. It's your business. That's the beautiful thing about business. Let your business serve you at the highest level so that you could serve your clients at the highest level. But paying someone $60K doesn't necessarily mean you're forking over $60K.
Yeah.
Because 60 divided by 12 is 5. So like, so just so you know, you can't think of it like that way. You have to say like, okay, monthly, like the cost to have this person all in here, which is something I love, is just like, I just want your mind. Like give me your mind and creativity and problem solving abilities and let's go. But you actually get the benefit because you're not paying somebody all up front.
Yeah.
Which is just something cool.
Well, I mean, if you could give it one thing, what would it be as far as like that like switch?
For what?
Of like you like got over it and you just said, okay,
it was
let's
that.
just hire.
It was like, okay, it's going to be a $60K salary with maybe some bonuses here and there, but it's not $60K out of the bank.
Okay. So that's what like pulled you over.
That's what it's like. Okay. It's really a $5,000 decision.
Yes.
Got it. And then if it doesn't work out, number one, how much lessons would we both have learned here? Which in many cases it hasn't, because before Mariella was Abby, and I learned a lot. And shout out to you, just because you've just been around.
What are you gonna do?
I'm just trying to like high kick or whatever. There you go. All right, there you go. No, but like you just learned. So then you're out 10, 15K, let's just say.
Yeah. And
you gave it a shot. So technically, like you didn't lose, and you learned a ton about yourself. You learned.
You just paid $15K
to learn the cost of business. Right. Hopefully this person did stuff while they were here. Hopefully this person set up the next person.
Right.
All that stuff. Now, the other thing that was super helpful and I think accelerated things was paying contractors.
Contractors.
Like just paying people to do certain things that you don't necessarily have to hire out.
Yeah, you don't need full time.
Yeah. So, we brought on a like a marketing what would you call it? I would call them a fractional marketing company.
Yes.
So even though it was just like me, Amanda, Art, Mariella, now Sophie, having this wing, it's almost like we had access to like 8 people.
Yeah.
Because of them being able to handle stuff, and again, just paying the cost.
Yeah.
So
even like the workshops that like you put on, we we hire a contractor that is a video guy, and he takes a lot of the work off our plate.
Yeah.
Those 2 days in that workshop.
Correct.
So that's helpful.
But just know, like, you could pay for help so that you could focus on what you're good at and focus on why your business is different, or what makes your business different. And then the next thing as far as cost goes is coaching and mentorship. Like, I believe in business, there is no tricks, there is no hacks. I don't want to say there are no shortcuts, because coaching is a shortcut. Now, coaching does not replace doing the work, but if you're doing the work, please get a coach, because they can accelerate your results based on things you can't see, because you're tunnel vision. I mean, we're doing the work, dude. We're tunnel vision, and then it isn't until somebody comes in. So yeah, now we're working with a new contractor for emails and funnels and automations and stuff. Shout out to Renee. And he's seeing stuff that we didn't even see.
Yeah.
And he's fixing stuff that we didn't even see.
It's cool to think, in terms of cost of business, I think you're almost at $200K in investing into yourself at this point when it comes to like voices, coaches in your life.
Blown past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like
Which
wild,
is the cost.
Which is wild.
So when I say the cost, I mean like, do I mean like you need to go below? I say below, but like invest a gazillion dollars? No, like, unless you feel like you're ready for that, or this is your time. I think something you need to consider is like you have to become a different person. You're obviously in the place you're in because of the person you are. And if you want to get to a different place, it's going to require for you to be a different person. It's just that. It's a transformation that needs to take place. And I would even say some people have noticed a transformation in me. Many of you guys that listen or watch this podcast have seen a transformation. My closest friends and church family, they have seen a transformation. I'm not the same person. I'm not. That doesn't mean I've like cut off people and like, you're down here like at all. It is just that I started thinking differently because I got around people who thought way bigger than me that started making me feel uncomfortable. And then you start realizing like, oh my gosh, that was just my baggage,
Mm-hmm.
So those are just accepting the cost. Any other thoughts?
No, that's it.
So if you want to become a millionaire, you need to accept the costs it's going to take to become one. Ad spend, paying team, coaching, contractors, reinvesting back into your business, and just think of it like a trade. That's like the best thing I could tell you is think of it. Will you trade and come up with that number because it's helpful. Like if you do think like that, like, dude, I'm willing to spend $350 to make $700. Because, dude, that's literally business. Business is I'm gonna put money in this machine, and it's gonna bring me back more money. That is literally what business is. And if you don't think it's that, then you have too much passion and artsy fartsy and creating, and I don't know. You're just like you're too invested from an artistry standpoint, as opposed to like a straight up just business marketplace, the trade. The second thing, we're talking about the 3 things that helped me practically, not just not mindset. is developing the skills.
Developing the skills.
Developing the skills. When I think about the word I was talking about, the transformation that needs to take place, the transformation that took place, it was a transformation of skills. It was an ability that I did not have, and then abilities that I now possess. So when I think about the three most important ones, and I want you to identify which ones there are, but it'll be really hard to find somebody doing really well in business who doesn't understand sales. Sales. Like, sales is so powerful. We have a podcast on it. I don't want to go so deep into it, but I didn't know how to sell. So I have these stories that I don't tell as often as people say I should tell. So you're going to get my failure stories. You ready for it? People don't realize that my first course that I created, I sold zero. People don't realize my first 2 web classes I've ever done, I sold zero. People don't know that when it came to the price and saying the price of what it is I offered based on what they needed, I couldn't say it.
Yeah, you would cower like a little kid.
I guess you could say it that way. No, but I would just be like, I'll get back to you, and then, or I'd be like,
you would actually have like moments of anxiety.
Yeah, I'd be like, so like, how much do you think?
Yeah,
how much do you think? And I broke this down on another podcast, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But just know that, like, learning sales, oh my goodness, it'll open up your mind, because there's no way to make $1 million without selling something. And even if you have a sales team, you should be able to still be the lead salesperson, because you should believe in what you're selling. And if you don't, you might be a scam artist.
And technically everything you do is selling.
I believe that. Like, I believe you're always selling.
Right.
You're either just really good or you're terrible. I asked somebody, in the program, we had a call last week, and shout out to her. But I asked her, I was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say you are when it comes to sales?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, probably 5. And then as we get to talking, I was like, it's more like a 2. It's more like a 1. Based on our conversation,
right?
It's very clear that you can't persuade people to go to the next step with you, which comes down to one skill, really. And even beyond that, one way that I was able to accelerate things is learning how to sell one-to-many. So learning that every time I would speak, every time I would teach, every time I would sell, it wasn't in a one-to-one environment, which it could be for you, which is totally fine. I actually think most people starting out should sell one-to-one, because you're going to learn, you're going to get language from the people that you're having conversations with to see if you could even help them. And if you can't, don't sell them. But selling one-to-many is its own skill. It's learning how to speak in assumed generalities, and it's also learning how to speak to assumed beliefs and then shift those beliefs. So I don't want to get into it, but that's why if you hate mindset content, you probably suck at sales.
He said it.
If you don't like it when people start talking about mindset, you're probably not good at selling. You're probably not good. You're probably actually still struggling. For the very reason why you don't like mindset, because and I don't mean to be like super clever, but your mind is set on not wanting mindset. So we had a comment on the Dan Martell podcast.
Yep.
Which is like when a multiple 9 or what's a 10, like, I don't know, multiple 8-figure exits or 9-figure exit. You know what you do when somebody like that talks? You shut up. So I let him interpret the answers based on my questions. And somebody commented, man, this is all just mindset. How's it going? How you doing in your business? Still struggling? Okay then. It's because you don't like mindset and you're stuck. Literally, you are stuck. Now this podcast is not mindset, even though it might be influencing the way you think, which would be beautiful. But learning how to sell one-to-many, which I don't want to get too deep into this, but getting good as a communicator.
So, I mean, this is a big one.
This is big. If you want to, Warren Buffett says, if you want to add 50% of value with one skill, it's the ability to communicate.
If not the main one in today's society where everything is online, on video, if you can't communicate, then what else do you have?
I think it's communicate. And I mean, but that's why
I guess you could be an entertainer. I mean,
yeah, I guess. But even entertainers are communicators. They have an ability to connect. That's like the number one goal with communication is to be able to connect. And you can't connect unless you know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're talking to unless you've talked to people.
Dang, bro, it sounds like you developed the skills, bro.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, so I could, like, as I'm talking, I'm speaking to a you. Like I'm speaking to like a you, right? Yeah. So like it influences my ability to communicate. Now, you cannot get good at speaking, whether it's public, virtually, or one-on-one, without the awareness that you need to pay attention to the art form. So like,
okay,
no one is an accidental, incredible communicator. That's my belief. I think everyone who's great at communicating watched it,
and
picked up on things, tested, saw what worked, kept what was working, tried new things, and then just over time became great at communicating. You know, something I mentioned in today's coach call, which I'm glad it came up right now, is if you're new to communicating, whether that's talking in front of people, teaching in front of people, or doing it virtually in the form of web class, Zoom calls, or even content creation, YouTube and stuff, if you're new to it, there's a high likelihood that you are prioritizing the content of what you're teaching, as opposed to prioritizing the connection with what you're teaching. And the way you connect better is by telling stories, sharing real life examples, painting pictures, using illustrations. And so this last weekend, I preached a couple weekends or a couple services, and I told a friend of mine, I said, hey, I was like, dang, like I literally, because after the first time I preached a sermon, I was like, dang, there was so much content I left out, which is fine. Like it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. But Nadia, my friend, was like, I don't know how, and she was talking about me and Jay, her husband. She's like, I don't know how you guys like have so much to say. It was like a funny, like interesting thought, because her and Amanda are teaching a course at our church in the middle of the week. And
I'm sure they feel like they run out of things to say.
They run out of things to say, but they have so much content, like all heady insight that they're getting from places. And when you realize the number one goal of communication is to connect, you'll pause and you'll say, do I need this? Is this going to actually help them? Do I have an example of this in my own life? Do I know somebody that's journeyed through this? So like, by the grace of God, it's cool that I have so many places where I can show up and talk, which helps. Like I realize that I'm a speaker who then writes. John Maxwell would say that there's writers who then speak. We were talking about it with Dan Martell. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of me. Because like, I just need a few. Actually, I mean, I don't even know if you could see this. If you could see it, maybe Art, you could just zoom in. You could search the word Zoom on the transcription. But like, this is my notes for this podcast. We're just about halfway. Maybe I'm gonna zip through. I want to honor your time.
Just screenshot it and I'll put it up.
Oh, okay. There you go. Make it easy. How? Like, how am I able? Well, it's just because I realize that the more you focus on leveling up in skills, you're gonna put yourself in a category that not many people are in, and so you get the benefit of just sharing an overflow. And I actually think nobody wants my deep cuts.
Yeah.
Nobody wants my own personal deep cuts. If I even got you there, I'd lose you.
1,000.
When did I come up with this podcast?
I don't know. You've been thinking about it for like the past couple months. No, dude, it's
literally
10 minutes ago.
10 minutes before we hit record, I jotted these things down. Now, I don't say that to brag. I just say that because it's in me.
Yeah. And not that you don't care either.
And not that I don't care. Like, yeah, you could feel my care in my tonality.
But you know what that reminds me of is a thing that used to say a lot when I was younger is it's not about being right. It's about being effective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are always thinking about, oh, what is the right thing I need to say? Or what's the right thing I need to teach? But it's like, no, you should take a step back and be like, will this be effective though? Is it going to connect with the person I'm trying to connect with?
Yeah. Is it going to help? Like,
yeah.
Will they leave and be like, that was helpful?
Yes.
And a lot of this internal dialogue I actually have has made me I love it. I love when people say like, Omar, you just make it so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Omar, you make it so practical.
Yeah.
Omar, you make it so applicable. I think it's because, maybe part of it is like a gift, but another part is just like, what other way is there to do it? To confuse you more? Like, what would be the point then? Yeah. And so, yes, an obsession for you to actually connect with what we're actually teaching on the podcast whenever we do these, like, I like to call them solo episodes when there's not a guest. I want to make sure you're getting the help and you're getting the insight. And then the last skill that I think is a skill that literally will print you money, and it's the skill of offer creation. When you realize that you could use your words and exchange your words for people's money, oh my goodness, it's like you've broken the cheat code to making money. It is the infinite money glitch. The infinite money glitch is the ability to realize that people will pay for something based on somebody's words. So if you bought a ticket to the challenge, you didn't buy a ticket to the challenge for any other reason other than I told you who it was for. Like, invisible. Like, now you could buy a ticket to the challenge and it could never happen. Mm-hmm. And I could run away with the money.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. But I could. And that proves the principle of people buy what you say, not what necessarily the thing you sell. Right. So when I say offer creation, it's this ability to articulate what a person needs or wants, understanding when the offer is given, creating a sense of urgency and scarcity that you invent from thin air. Says
mm-hmm.
who?
Right.
Says me, right? And then also the ability to show them what could be from taking this step. And this works with everything and anything. Doesn't matter. If you're in real estate, creating an offer around preparing yourself to buy your first home. Like, I remember when I bought my first home, I had no idea that 5 years from that moment that I'd have $100,000 sent to my bank account. I still worked, I still made money, I still got to enjoy life, and then just out of nowhere, $100,000 hits my bank account. That could be you. I'm doing this first time home buyer. Dude, I'm in. Sign me up. But But creating offers is powerful because as time moves on, people talk differently. People want different things. And something that people would not have paid for in the past was personal brand coaching.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that necessarily, like you were like, I want to grow on YouTube. I want more followers on this platform. I want to make money online.
And I'm sure it's going to evolve.
And it's going to evolve. Yeah.
But like that skill that you just talked about is wrapped in like the cost of business. It's the cost of coaching or having a coach.
Yeah. I think, I mean, like, how do you get good at a skill you're not good at? Is you become aware that you're not good. This is why if you're not self-aware, you'll stay wherever you're at. Like, be self-aware, take accountability, humble yourself, and become a student and realize that there's no finish line. It's like, it's a forever discovery, forever. And the second you stop investing in your skills is the second you plateau. So like, yeah, no, all these skills that I am talking about came as a result of paying for an environment where not only would the person who's teaching it do it at a masterful place, but it was also paying so I would pay attention.
Right.
So when, so here's what's crazy. Here's what happens when you invest in coaching. When you invest in coaching, let's just say, I don't know, give me a skill or something you want to learn.
Yeah, sales.
Okay, so let's say you join somebody's program and you invest an amount that gets your gut kind of like uneasy, and you invest in this program. Not only are you going to pay attention to the content in this program, but when you watch other content on YouTube, you're going to consume it from a way more leaned in state. Like, you're really going to be paying attention. So like, it was the same as skills, or it was the same as taxes. Like, because it cost me so much money to realize I don't have to pay the tax bill that everyone says I need to pay. You can actually do things with your money so you can offset your taxes. Because of that cost, hurt, kind of like put a void in my pocket. I then started listening differently to my CPA, listening differently to my friends who do the same stuff, listening differently to actually like shorts and reels, short form content. I'm like, I get so much out of it because I paid to pay attention. So yes, it came as a result. The third thing, so we said accepting the cost of making the million, developing the skills required to make $1 million.
Yep.
And then the last thing is building the brand.
Building the brand.
Building the brand. Now, I don't even like the word building because it sounds like work, but it made it very easy to make $1 million, multiple $1 million, because I had a brand and because I'm constantly building my brand. Something that Myron said that is just brilliant is you never want to outmarket and sell faster than how much you're building brand. You want your brand to be being built, and this is how you want to sell. This is how you create an oversubscribed business model, as Daniel Priestley would say, where you decide when the doors open. You decide when you want more clients. You decide how much you want to charge. You decide. That all comes by having brand, which is just simply put, it's creating a demand within people. And then if you sell a limited supply of anything, then not only can the price be higher, but you can limit and then create urgency and create scarcity. So how did I build my brand? I built my brand from what I prescribe is my personal content to cash calendar. My content to cash calendar. And it all is predicated on focusing on long form video. In other words, YouTube. Hello. You might be listening to this, but you're just listening to the audio from a long video.
Right.
So I prioritize my long form content, 1 upload a week, rain or shine. Doesn't matter what's going on. We're going to do our best and more than our best to show up once a week with a super high valuable piece of content. Then we take that long form piece of content and we create smaller pieces of content, short form pieces of content. I don't really post carousels, but we could and should be posting carousels. We could be posting carousels. We're uploading on TikTok. But the only thing I'm concerned with is with this, showing up on long form. What's also cool is because we're getting audio, because we're showing up daily on Instagram and TikTok, we also get the benefit of rewriting all these clips being made into email copy. So then now we have a valuable email that goes out to your inbox. And if you want to sign up, link in the description. If you sign up, make sure you go into your spam folder. If it goes in spam, and then move it over, that'd be really cool. But the distribution. So I built the brand. And when I say building the brand, the reason why is because everything in life, no matter what relationships, client, spouse, or friend, everything becomes easier when there is trust. So, in my opinion, YouTube is the greatest platform to build trust on automation at scale. That's just the way it works. Time. We just spend so much time together. You know what I'm saying? So the distribution though is like, now we have AI that can really help with this and help you be omnipresent online, where people just see you. People just, dude, you want people to come up to you and be like, dude, I'm seeing your stuff everywhere, man. Like every time I pull up my phone, it's you, you know, like it's not only powerful, but you have to realize for people to have that effect when we were younger, you had to pay a lot of money for it. Number one, you had to shoot a commercial. Number two, you had to pay for the airtime on the commercial. And that's how you did it. Now there is no barrier of entry. It's just you showing up. And you don't want to not build a brand. It's so much easier to work with people who have a name and face to their brand than for people to buy from a brand, right? So like Art's wearing a hat, says the video department. That's the business, that's the company, the video department LLC.
Yeah.
But when you see Omar's face, you think video department. When you see video department, you think Omar's face. Maybe even Art's face. Shout out to Art's face. Art also just recently had a birthday. He turned 23. 23. Which that was just a bomb drop because everybody's like, wait, what? Like the amount of texts I got, side note, they would comment on your post like, happy birthday, bro, happy birthday. And then it's like, bro, he's 23, which is like a compliment. Dude, I remember when people said that.
Because they think I'm younger. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, they think you're older. That's why it's a compliment.
Oh, okay.
They literally think you're probably like 25 to 27.
Fire.
Yeah, dude. So chill. Slow down. Again, Gen Z out here just feeling late to the party. I should be further along. Which of you like look at your life? You're like, you're zooming. I'm just saying.
I'm grateful. By the way, it's good to note that these 3 things that you listed, they didn't happen in like an order. No. Like all 3 of these things were happening together, coexisting at the same time. Maybe some with more focus than others at certain moments, but yeah, like it's not a step-by-step thing.
No, and that's not what I wanted to do because, hey, bring it in. There is no step-by-step.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's like, almost like you have to step out and then find out.
You have to step out and then find out. You have to do so you discover. You have to go and then you'll know.
Okay.
For real though, those are all facts. But
bro, he's becoming a wordsmith like Myron.
Bro, I'm becoming a wordsmith like Omar. No, I'm just kidding. No, for sure. You become like your coaches. You become like your mentors, as you should. But I will say, yeah, I quit my last W-2 job in 2016 with an accessories company called Grace Brand. And I was making custom vintage dog tags, traveling the country, and like wasn't necessarily knowing what I was doing, but it was working.
And it was fire.
Yeah, it was great. Now, I look back, I could have built that mug to a gazillion-dollar company. Jesus Loves You Co. What? Nah, bro, Grace Brand.
100.
Now, no shade to Jesus Loves You Co. Whatever, but it's like, it's literally the, like, hear me. Whatever you work will work. Whether
it's on you or for you.
Yeah, 100. But you know what I mean is, like, you could start a clothing company in 2026, 2025. You could start a consulting company in 2026, 2025. You could start making music in there's going to be new, like, dude, there was no Amazon growing up. There was no Tesla growing up. There was no iPhone growing up. There was no mirrorless cameras growing up. There was like when I just think about the world I'm in, you just have to realize that, like, you could be the new version of the thing, you know? So just want to encourage you with that. And yes, I didn't technically, although I've made over, a few $1 million, I guess you could say, in my time as a entrepreneur or wantrepreneur, as a solopreneur. It didn't click till I was 33. So I just want to encourage you, like, don't even make, like, I personally don't even make the money thing the goal. And I know that's like how we package this video, because that's just how people think. So that's why we packaged it this way, or this podcast. But the reality is like, if you just do like the principles, like if you just do that, you'll be fine. Like, you'll be fine. I just realized that, like, the only reason why it happened quickly when starting the video department, specifically coaching and consulting, not agency work or not a clothing brand, was because of the mistakes, the failures, the awareness, the insight I got from helping other people build other things, and then also building those relationships. Maybe this is just the bonus one, and that is who you're talking to. Like, I've threaded this, I've X'd this a few times, and that is, if you change your conversations, you can change your life. Like, you're in a conversational loop with the people that you talk to the most. And something I found was there were some people where the conversation wasn't conducive to what I was trying to build. And then other times there's conversations that I have with people in my world that are literally, at minimum, 6-figure ideas, conversations. Like, if we just carry this through. So it's not even that you have to do everything you talk about. It's just that over time you just are, that's all you're thinking. So like the sum average of all these conversations is just, you're going to implement one of these ideas and then boom, change your life. So yeah, shout out to Neo Davis, who would say, try and have a 6 or 7-figure conversation every day. That's what I love. I mean, I hung up on him. He was on the podcast
which
a couple
sounds
weeks ago.
difficult at first, but I mean, if you're around the right people, then it's just going to happen.
It's just natural.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? Like, oh yeah, dude, I got this. We're working on our emails because our email
like
deliverability
literally
is low.
sometimes you have multiple a day and it's like,
Yeah, I know. You have to like go take a nap, go jump in the pool. But yeah, I'm gonna call back Steve, and yeah, let me just call him real quick, and then we'll wrap up this podcast. Hey, if you're still listening or watching, you can DM me the word Department Fam. This is Steve Panate. He was on 4 episodes ago, and he's somebody. It's like people in your life that have like every time you talk, it's a mastermind.
Yeah.
Like we're literally working through something. Like Neil called me yesterday and I was with the fam, but we were just talking through YouTube, the podcast, next step, the call to action, you know? What'd you do today?
I filmed the podcast.
Nice.
For the elite. And then you had a closing?
Yeah, I had a closing and then I onboarded a new agent. What up?
What up?
You here?
Yeah, we're just wrapping up a pod.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What are you doing this week for the podcast?
Crystal.
Sick.
Like, I already have it in the can, ready to go.
Let's go. How do you feel about it? Okay, so I just got off the phone. I think that was like 15 minutes.
Yep.
With Neil, we talked about invoicing. We talked about valuing a relationship that can open doors. We talked about YouTube strategy. We talked about fixing his next upload. So that was just a conversation. We didn't talk about entertainment. We didn't talk about Happy Gilmore 2. We didn't talk about whatever. Okay. I talk about Happy Gilmore in this podcast. And the next conversation was with Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve was telling me his day. Yeah, I had a closing, filmed a podcast, and signed on a new agent. What a day.
Yeah.
And he's like, I also talked with the hotel because he's thinking about throwing a live event in Fort Worth. And then we're processing that. And then I'm telling him about an investment property I'm looking at in Utah. Those are just two
phone calls.
Two phone calls.
Two less than 10-minute phone calls.
Less than 10, 15 minutes. And that was the topic of conversation. You tell me how you don't become successful when those are the types of conversations you're having. If you're still watching your department, fam, thanks, Art.
Go.
Love y'all.